Welcome to part 4 in a series of screencasts from LSE Life on Discover Different Ways to Make Shorter, Smarter Revision Notes. So in part 4 we're going to be looking at using your notes during the online exam. So what does an online exam mean? Well, this year your exams are going to be open book exams, meaning that you can use your revision notes. So you have a number of hours to prepare, get your notes together and perhaps create some plans. Generally, this will be 24 hours, but some departments and modules will vary, so do refer to the information you've been given by your department. It's important to remember whatever hours you've been given, so whether it's 24, more or less, it does not mean that you work for that entire time. You will be expected to write for a similar amount of time as a conventional exam, and your department will offer you very clear guideline amounts of the time that they expect you to spend on writing that exam. If you plan things right, you'll also have a little more time to proofread and check your references are correct than you would for an exam you were taking in an exam hall. For more detailed advice on taking an online exam, see our guidance on Prepare for Take-Home Exams and Assessments. So using revision notes during your online exams. Before the exam opens, at whatever time you've been told this will be, get prepared the night before. So take out all of your index cards, your concise summaries and your mind maps for that exam. And focus on referring to the index cards first to answer the questions. But also make sure you have the concise summaries and mind maps there if you need to check further details. If you haven't done this yet, it's a good idea to review your course outlines. This will give you a good picture of the story of your course. So see our guide on preparing for exams by reviewing course outlines for more information on how to do this effectively. So first you need to analyse the question. Use the notes you've made of your main arguments on the index cards to see if these can form the basis for arguments in potential paragraphs and or the main argument of that essay. And again, if you haven't done this yet, perhaps it's a good idea to have a look at past papers. You may find the way your tutor has worded the questions means you can bring in ideas from more than one card. It's a good idea to understand how your tutor has typically worded the exams in the past, so see our guide on Prepare for Exams by using past papers for more information on how to do this. Secondly, you need to develop your arguments across the paragraphs. If you find arguments you'd already considered work, find the corresponding concise summary so you can elaborate in more detail. If not, go back to your mind map on that subject and see if you can refresh your memory. An extra tip, remember, these exams are about depth, not breadth. Aim for fewer, stronger points discussed in detail rather than many points you can only mention quickly. Third, write a plan for your answer. Code your index cards and concise summaries so you can relocate the relevant information or arguments as you begin to write up your draft answer, rather than having to flick through pages and pages to find the right piece of information. As an extra tip, remember that most departments are setting an upper word limit for these exams. Do you know what your department has asked for? If not, double check this the night before so that you're prepared. Remember, most departments are not going to penalise you for going over the word count, but they will stop marking when you reach the word count. So there's no point going significantly over. Fourth, when you're getting close to finishing, do make sure you double check your references to other people's arguments. But refer to the books and journal articles only if you really have to. So there shouldn't really be any need to do this in much detail unless you're worried that you've got something wrong. As with traditional exams, you should be avoiding direct quotations and instead paraphrase and synthesise other people's arguments into your answers. If you need help with improving your paraphrasing, see our guide on how to write it in your own words, paraphrasing for better reading and writing. So to summarise, before the exam, get all of your index cards, concise summaries and the mind maps out for that subject. Analyse the questions carefully, question the questions so that you make sure you understand what it's really looking for rather than what you think it's asking. Pull out relevant points and arguments you had considered in your revision notes and write a plan for your answer. Double check your sources if you're not sure about anything, but only do this if you absolutely have to. Ideally, your index cards and concise summaries should be enough. And do plan in some time for a thorough proofread of your answer.